Howdy, folks. On the workbench today, we have got an Oxi-Digger wooden rigger. We're going to do a little bit of setup for this customer. He wants the GPS installed, upgrade to the 200 amp ESC, and the 4082 2000 kV motor. Okie doke. We've got the sponsons, the tub, booms and collars. We're not going to assemble the whole boat, so we're just going to take the tub out. Okay, now that we've got this thing cracked open, let's get right to business. First thing coming out is this motor in ESC. This here is our 4074 2000 kV. This is our 180 amp ESC, which we're going to get replaced by our 200 amp ESC and our 4082 motor. Everything goes together pretty simply on this rigger. In the parts bag, you get the rudder, the prop, antenna, shaft and prop nut, the antenna holder, a little bit of grease. Motor and ESC are out. Now let's get rid of this tape residue. And with the magic powers of manufacturing, voila, it's perfectly clean. This 4082 2000 kV motor is a jewel. It's got a beautiful jacket on it. Professional touch. Put a drop of oil on the motor bearing. When's the last time you did that to any motor? All right, now we got the motor in snug and fit. Looks gorgeous in there. I can say it was a bit of a challenge to get it in there, but we got it in there. Okay, we're cooking with some hot grease now. I plugged the motor into the ESC, into the 200 ampere, and I reversed the wires so it would spin the correct direction. I'm going to put some double-sided tape on here. I'm going to mount this in here. I'm going to mount this as far back as possible, because the further back the weight is on a rigger, the less weight there is on the sponson ride surfaces. The less weight there is on those, the lighter they are, and the faster the boat goes. Just a small little tip. I know riggers extremely well. I made one do 80 miles an hour on one S LiPo, on one cell. Not 2, 3, 4 cells, not 6 cells, not 8 cells, not 12. One cell I've made a rigger do 80 miles an hour on. And that's from my days of doing boats. I come from when we didn't have a lot of power. I come from before brushless or LiPo. So we had to make the boats perform. We couldn't just throw 20S at it. You know, and especially when you're racing, there's classes you can't put more power to something than what it is. That's why when you look at real saw records, not this GPS Facebook stuff, I'm talking about real saw records, they are way faster than this GPS shit. Seriously, like way faster, like damn near twice as fast. Because real records are a lot different. We're getting warmer. Motor installed. ESC installed nicely and neatly. The customer asked me for red accessories. He said, let's make this thing as much red as possible. So, at no extra cost, I had some red water line left from a boat that wanted it switched out, and I saved it. So I'm simply switching out the water line. I put purple zip ties on it and getting this red theme going. I also mounted the switch neatly from the ESC. Everything is done beautiful and concisely. Red conical washers, red hardware back here, red antenna mount. Now we need to install red water outlets. Okie dokie. Now we've got the red water outlets installed just like the customer wanted. The fascinating thing is I didn't even charge this customer extra for the red water lines and the red water outlets. I found a way to switch around a couple boats that I already had here That's not always the case, but I'll tell you what, this customer was great. He actually met up with me at the lake where I run at. He's local, and him and his friends have just been buying boats from us loyally. And that means a lot to us. You know what I mean? This gentleman has run boats with me. He's gotten to check out how I do things, and him and his friends have decided they want boats from me exclusively. They realize that here at Oxidean Marine, you can have it your way. Believe you me when I tell you, these other electric boat manufacturers they're not even manufacturers, they're just parts dealers, like Electrics.com, etc. They don't work on boats like this. They don't build your boats. They don't build boats for pleasure. You can't have it your way there. You can only have what comes in the box. Others are simply just drop shipping from China. And that is crazy. They're getting your dough and just drop shipping, having someone in China send it to you. Not here at Oxidean Marine. We live, eat, and breathe radio-controlled model boats. And when you have issues, you just give us a call and we'll help you resolve them. You can actually talk to us on the phone when you call. Next subject at hand. Being this customer is a loyal customer, he's got our talking GPS radio. In this rigger, he wants all our telemetry installed. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Something innovative that I thought of with the GPS module is, instead of mounting it outside the boat, typically in situations like this, before I've mounted the GPS on top of the hatch, and that antenna hole is a perfect marking hole for the wire and grommet to go through. Some people don't like this because it's a bit intrusive. It just pops off the top like that. So, first option I'm going to do is I'm going to try mounting the GPS module inside the boat right here. It's out of the way of just about anything, and this boat is wooden. The GPS signal will go through this wooden hatch. When it's in the water, the sides of it will be submerged. Okay? But I think it might be the fact that the signal can come directly through the top. It might still be okay. I don't think it's going to block it on the sides. I think as long as it has connectivity on the top, he's fine. The beauty of it is I'm going to give him his grommet and stuff, so if it doesn't work, if it's not picking up signal in there, he can always simply mount it out here, and I'll give him another piece of double-sided tape to do so. When I'm building these boats, we think about the customer and ease of use and them having a good experience running this thing. All right. There it is, installed in the boat. Wiring routed to the back where you can plug it into his receiver. Okay, now my bad. On our Scorpion riggers, the antenna mount is back here. But I just remembered our antenna mount is right here on the side, which is really convenient for this rigger. So that there's not a lot of length issues on the wires. So these wires are more than long enough. His servo lead is going to come up here to plug into the receiver. He might need an extension for that, but that's not a big deal at all. I think I'm going to curl up his wires a little bit so that they're out of the way. Not this big cable, but the ESC servo extension. And like I said, we're not just sticking stuff in boxes and shipping them off. You know what I mean? We think about your use and your convenience while we're setting these. Have you ever wondered how to spiral wires professionally? What I've taken is an Allen wrench, or others call it an L wrench, like this. And wound the wire around it. Then simply remove the L wrench. You got nice and spiraled. So for the next and final task at hand, we're going to install his voltage reader. When we had Hobbywing make our ACs, we had Hobbywing include a terminal to tie this into. So we cut and splice and solder this lead in. This procedure is snip and splice. Snip the old end off and splice this end in by soldering. Okay, we've got the wires soldered together, spliced, and we just need to shrink them. First, we shrink them individually. Shrinky dink. Shrinky dink. Shrunk down on it. For an added layer of strength and protection, we're going to slide this shrink sheath over it. So we're going to get centered well over it, like that. Now hit this shrinky dink with the gun. Shrinky dink. Shrink down on it. Shrink down on it. Shrink down on it. We're going to leave this wire in here for him. We're going to roll it up nice and present it to him well. And that's the entire electronic setup and modifications he wanted. Little things, like a piece of purple tubing for his antenna support, and it matches his purple zip ties. We'll put all his parts back in the bag. He'll need only to install his rudder and prop shaft and set up his booms, which were already, the boom tubes are already pre-drilled for responses. They just slide on. My cat, for some reason, loves this table because she knows it's where I give the most attention. That being said, she sheds all over the place, so we're going to do one of these moves. Yeah, like I said, that concludes the custom modifications on this guy's boat. Because at Oxidean Marine, you can have it your way. And voila! This gentleman now has a new, fully comprehensive kit. We actually include two turn fins, a right and a left, for scale guys that want to turn left. He's got his booms, his collars. He's got his sponsons still wrapped. All for one really neat kit, really easy for him to assemble. He'd have this thing on the water within less than an hour. So remember, when you're ready to order a boat this season, remember the company that is hands-on, where you can have it your way, where at your request, you can have a turnkey boat. If you want to stay up to date on the raddest RC boats made, free tips and tricks, feel free to subscribe to our channel, smash that like button, and by all means, continue enjoying radio-controlled model boating. Bill Oxidine, the Oxi-Digger kit, and Fluffy, over and out.